Hi, my name is Mica, and I am a writer and arts educator and a student here at the New School in BPATS program. And I am currently doing a self-designed degree with the working title of Intersectional Pedagogies through the Arts and Social Engagement. So I'm looking at how arts and social practice can really be influenced by looking at pedagogies through a race, class, and gender lens, and sort of how those deconstruct questionable pedagogies. Additionally, I'm also in the Reggio Honors Program for Writing and Democracy, and this very much influences a lot of the work that I do. So my work is looking at how teens can curate and working in creative ways to think about leveraging their abilities and passions and concerns and be empowered in a way to bring about progressive change in the world that we live in. So I approach arts education from some foundational pieces, which Pedagogy of the Oppressed is a very foundational piece for me. On the right, we pick over 6 elements of social practice and social justice, which are really about self-respect first, respecting others second, and then learning more about how movements around the world have impacted how things have been done. And then at the very top is the America Project, which was a project created by Sekou Sundiata, who was a professor here many years ago before his passing. So I'm currently the Education Programs Manager at No Longer Empty, and we are an arts organization that curates and activates public engagement through contemporary art in underutilized and unique spaces in the 5 boroughs. So we have a very in-depth research model. We don't just enter communities, we are invited to join them and work in them, and then we do research to figure out sort of curating the exhibitions that we do, and as well as curating the education programs. So this picture here is from last summer. I had the opportunity to co-teach a program that we just launched called Art Zone, Community Art and Data Lab. So it's an intergenerational program with 25 elders and teens from the community, trying to explore what the arts can mean to the community. It became a think tank sort of elders and teens, and talking about what they want to see more of in the neighborhood, what they want to see less of, and how the arts can be leveraged. So following this program, I made the decision to hybridize No Longer Empty's 2 teen programs, which were previously curation and docent tours separately. And I thought this was really important to offer a more layered and holistic opportunity for the teens to engage with the arts in a way that was new for most of them, which was exclusively curation, but as well expanded into exhibition making. So when this program started, which was about 3 weeks ago now for this new iteration, a lot of the teams did not know the definition of the word curation. And over the last couple of weeks, sort of building on their knowledge, things like social practice, installation art, the difference between participatory art and social practice are something that's really becoming integral to the work that they're doing. And this new program is titled Young Exhibition Makers, which is a 15-week program, and we're training about 30 teens in all elements of exhibition making, from curation and management to docent tours and installation. They're 14 to 18, and building this new program in East Flatbush for me was really important to sort of think about the pedagogical model of working in underserved communities, especially with teens who live in these communities with diverse backgrounds and diverse families, and just recognizing that this new model, which while I'm hybridizing it this year, does need to be a new iteration every community that we work in, because it's not going to be the same every time. So this cohort, which is the new group here, is the largest group that No Longer Empty's ever worked with at one time on a program. And I've kind of designed the program in a way, as I said, to recognize and respect the differences of these participants and really focus on creating avenues for collaboration and sharing their different experiences and issues and concerns, because a number of the students come from families who have immigrated to the country. As I said, it's an underserved community. They have very vast socioeconomic differences within the group itself. So in this part, as I said, we're doing exhibition making. So a lot of it is also figuring out how to build docent tours that are accessible. And that's not just accessible in terms of physical accessibility is how we usually think of it, but also language. Language meaning the use of language, so not using more industry art language, as well as thinking about translations and cited guests, etc. So the 30 teens who are in the group that I'm working with this year, or this semester, are working in mini gallery groups. So they've broken off into groups of 5 or 6, and they're focusing on a theme that they are really concerned about and want to curate a show around. So they've decided to focus on community and school violence, the African diaspora and Black identity, family matters, and the family matters subject is one that is probably going to be a wide range in terms of subject content within the show, because they're going to be everything from immigration to animal rights. Following that, there's feminism and gender equality, as well as all expressions of gender. There's a group focusing on teenhood, and the last group is focusing on mindfulness. So next week, the group will be going through the call for submissions applications, which, if any of you know any teenagers in Brooklyn, it's open until the 20th at 11:59 p.m. Come find me, we can talk. And they're putting together curatorial proposals following that, and that will be presented to an assembled audience of curators, programmatic directors, and artists. And in this way of sort of learning the process of curatorial practice and evaluating artwork, building on curatorial ideas with your peers, and then actually having to present it, my hope is that the YX teams will be able to further understand how curation can impact the thinking of others that come to see their show. So following all of that, once they make the show, these gallery groups are going to, present their work, they're going to design and install the exhibition themselves using tools and overseen by art installer. And then they're going to be writing curatorial statements with a writer and curator, Naama Safia Sandi, and designing gallery guides with teaching artist Rebecca Pristoop, who also does work with the Moving Company. So with the exhibition opening on Saturday, June 2nd, young exhibition makers will have the opportunity to show off their work to their family, their friends, the public, and they'll also be hosting 2 consecutive weekends of events, which will include artist workshops, an artist panel, art-making activities for kids in the community, and a lot more. And so for me, encouraging them to really be their truest selves with each other and making conscientious choices in the content of their show, it'll give them an opportunity to really speak up about the things that they're concerned about, and also sort of acting as a conduit for the stories that they want to tell. So this image here, you'll see on the right of some of the teens, and they were playing a game called How Many Are There? So part of this program is really focused on arts mentorship and encouraging youth to learn more about leadership in arts industry, getting work in the arts industry. So they were playing a game to compete and see how many arts jobs they could come up with. So each group was paired off into groups of 4 or 5. One group, the highest group, had 25 jobs altogether that they came up with. So with that, the YX program really focuses on allowing these students to work with curators and artists and community leaders to explore these careers that can offer them the potential to leverage their creative abilities and their critical thinking skills. So in addition to YX, oh, actually, let me show you this before I go on. Will it work? Yeah. So, oops. They made a number of posters for the call for submissions in one of the art-making activities we did last week. So anyway, that's that. So in addition to YX, I've actually just designed a new program that No Longer Empty will be announcing in the coming weeks. It's called the Youth Action Council, and it's a academic year-long program paid for students who have worked with No Longer already, so NLE alumni, and helping them engage in determining and sort of researching how the arts can be used for activism and making social change in the world. So right now I built out a new matrix model that really has a lot of points of entry for youth in every community we work with, so they don't necessarily have to participate in every program that we do. As long as they have one entry point, they're welcome to join. And really with this, they're going to have an opportunity to travel to arts organizations, social justice groups, and community-based organizations to learn more about these tools. Specifically too, we're looking at climate justice, women's rights, free speech, LGBTQ, indigenous concerns, and such. So it's going to be very heavy subject matter for them, and they're going to be working on an online publication and curating a show and planning a public-facing event as well. So for me, the independent thinkers in this program are really able to sort of solve problems across multiple disciplines according to the varying demands of audience and task and context. And for me, this key element of curation is integral to maintaining our equitable society. And unpacking the questions and defining of nuance through artwork is, for me, a crucial skill in changing the lives of young people. And that is the group right now. Thank you.